able to also get victory on the same side.
Very excited for us to roll on to game number 2. Potentially a halfway point for our night. Could be 9 games tonight. 9 games to dream, Atlas. There's never been 9 LCK games in one day.
I know.
Maybe there will be today.
We need to make some history, Papa Smithy, as Morgana is going to be banned by Jin Air as we enter Champion Select. That's not making history. That's happened a lot.
Always a perilous request to make history in a Jin Air series because so many different types of records have been broken by Jin Air.
Often not the greatest ones as well.
I don't know, 94 minutes to dream, Atlas. We could go 95.
That's true. I mean, Jin Air were very good at doing nothing for 20 minutes in the last game. And they had a lead. Imagine if the game was even.
These are the sort of things we might be indulged upon in game number 2. We will not be indulging the Hanwha Live support key with Morgana or Tahm Kench. Both are going to be denied away. See what it means for junglers. The Talia and the Nocturne left open in game number 1. Or Jin Air just straight up power picked the Nocturne because although other teams have struggled with it, so far it's actually been a good news story for Jin Air Greenwings.
Well, they could ban the Swain and then see whether Hanwha want to ban the Nocturne or not.
They're a pretty good Swain team themselves, so I think they're going to be happy enough with a last pick Swain.
Taking the trade?
I think Nocturne on the side of Hanwha Life doesn't necessarily fear you too much, so I don't really mind it as a answer. So we'll see what Hanwha Life decide. They might just ban away Swain and give up the Nocturne.
Well, I like the Jin Air bans focusing on the bottom side of the map. Hanwha now to figure it out, and it is going to be the Swain given priority. Humpty could go straight over to the Nocturne once again, and it looks like that will be the priority. Hanwha sort of priced in to picking up the Shen.
I would prefer the first pick Shen, and then if you get the Nocturne, it's fantastic. If you don't, you deal with it. But this might allow Jin Air to actually pick a strong 2v2 bot lane. That's been something they haven't been doing as reliably, so I imagine Hanwha Life will steal away Shen, but there's a lot of duo lanes you can lock in now that will just straight up beat any Shen lane because Shen's 2v2 falls away against double range. They can't take Morgana or Tahm Kench as they've been the ones to ban it. But you could take a Varus Braum or something like that and feel really good about your duo lane if you want it on the side of Jin Air.
They could even pick something like Vladimir Soraka if they wanted to be real dirty. As Shen and Trundle are going to be the lock-ins here for Hanwha Life, so not giving too much away when it comes to their composition. Just going to take some power picks here.
A lot of things that pair well with the Nocturne. Still available. The GP is a famous one. The Galio as well. Don't have to necessarily index on those super early. This jungle so far committed to by Jin Air.
Gragas, a lot of flexibility there in the Gragas pickup. Could be going into the top lane or in the support position. Now, what will Grace pick up? I think that the Galio, like you say, is important. Could be a pickup here for Jin Air.
Wait to see where Jin Air want to go. As you mentioned, a lot of different options you have here. The Orianna priority would once again be very high. And with no recognized opponent, but it just seems to be that Orianna meta has hit the LCK thick and fast this week.
How confident is Lava in picking up the Azir? My question, that worked very well. Attempt up against Pyrian in our first series of the day.
Now that there is a recent data point, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be dusting off their Azir for quite a few games. Not sure if it has to be a first round pick, because I don't know if you're ready to ban it just yet. But the Zoe is open. Orianna is seen as a preferential matchup into Zoe. In terms of recent success in the LCK, you can trade really well. Once she tries to portal jump in, you can hit a QW to punish the Zoe.
Yep.
And Lava's most played is the Zoe, so he's just going to go for comfort, hitting line skill shots when you have terrain, and also the temporary terrain of the Trundle is usually pretty reliable, so we'll see how Songwon can do on the Trundle this game. He's already been doing quite a lot of Trundling in his recent series, now he gets to roleplay it on the Trundle.
I like how you've been using the Trundling verb recently as well. I feel like that's really going into my wheelhouse of things that I like to do. Predatoring didn't work quite as well, but Trundling, that was good. Yasuo going to be banned away here against Jin Air. Still respecting the fact that Yasuo can be flexed all over the place.
Bot lane Yasuo from Teddy doesn't feel as likely. Teddy could play the Orianna. A lot of people are practicing that bot lane Orianna in solo queue because of what's happening in the LPL, but it feels like we're talking about it without ever happening in Korea, so when it finally happens, you're not really a prophet if you said it 28 times and the 29th time it's locked in. But it's a good mid lane matchup for Orianna, so I imagine it's going to be a mid lane Orianna.
And Jin Air could have just been flexing it this whole time, but saw the fact that it was a decent mid lane matchup, so weren't too worried. Okay, The Lucian going to be banned away. Of course, Teddy's most played, but not exactly the highest win rate, sitting on about 15%, I believe.
Does feel like Jin Air won a marksman, and so you're just trying to get down the marksman tier list and also remove the marksman with the ability to reposition. So Varus is still there, but obviously has a higher element of risk. And some of these picks is Hanwha Life. Will they just be visiting Heimerdinger? They're the only team to play it so far in Korea. I don't imagine so, because they're smiling. That's going to be the Xayah.
Okay, Xayah going to be locked in, but then where is the Shen going? Could it be that they're going to go Xayah Rakan with a Shen top lane in the hands of Linderang?
It's definitely within the realm of possibility. I think the Xayah Shen is fine, and they've played Xayah without Rakan many times. They, like SKT, are Xayah teams, whereas Afrika Freak's a famous Rakan team. Jin Air, though, need to make sense of all the madness. Looking for, we imagine, a bot laner and a top laner.
Absolutely love the GP being locked in here.
So now if you take Xayah Rakan, you have a terrible lane for Shen on the top side. GP, very, very strong lane counter to the Shen, a free farm lane and then some.
Yep, just bodies him. So now that Rakan's looking a little bit more dangerous to pick up, is going to be Nova on the Gragas. So Gragas Vladimir will be the lane, and once again, we got a lot of wombo to come in from Jin Air, and Nova with the ability to ruin everything.
I know, that's what I'm thinking about as well, is there is the potential for the sick negative synergy of Gragas and Orianna. Looking for Hanwha Life, they look at the enemy team, they look for something that lanes strong into GP. Turns out it's most champions, but Linderang feeling most confident on the knock.
Yeah. So not going to be picking up the Shen. Oh, okay. Switches it up. Going to go for the Camille. A lot more aggressive, but certainly does do well into Soan, depending on what keystone he takes.
It's a really risky choice also, because even if you go Klepto, you get a couple of ganks, you show up with a Sterix Gauge and a Trinity Force, you might win trades. Against the Camille and Klepto, you're always in range of, whereas Hookshot is required to do trade damage outside of a Comet W trade if you're the Camille. This is a lane where both schools of thought on the Gangplank have actually worked pretty well for Gangplank. I felt this is a Gangplank favorite lane in the LCK, even though when it comes to dominance, certainly in the early game, you give it to the Camille.
And we were talking about Narva's Gangplank a lot as well. That was the other option that Linderang was flirting with, and that was actually getting won by the Gangplank towards the end of that era. So, Jin Air, once again, it's a wombo combo composition, but Nova's going to have to hold on to that cask button until he really needs it, or start a fight with it, as it could ruin everything, but have... Damn, Jin Air fans with loud voices today. Not a whole lot of people here in the Soli Stadium, but Jin Air fans certainly ready for a 2-0 victory. Be a bit unprecedented, not necessarily what we came to expect, but game number one was a beautiful wild ride, and we may be once again on that particular roller coaster. Hi from New Zealand.
Hello to @JontyWanty. Actually tweeted at us earlier, wants to say hello to us after the games, Atlas. So a New Zealand fan comes out here. The oceanic connection is strong.
Well, see whether he's a Grace fan, because may have lost one with that particular almost face check. Through down there. Okay, he's probably going to be able to go... No, not able to go home. So that's going to be damage that sticks.
I was smoking a little bit because the level 1 meta has been a lot of rush to the brush that you see Sang-Yoon Ward, put down a ward back as the support and change to sweeper for lane. Of course, Keita started sweeper and said thank you very much and was able to take down that vision. So I always enjoy when the meta turns. Our first example was in our first series where we saw Orianna finally held accountable by a smart Azir draft coming through from Tempt. Didn't see that pick here. Lava just going with what's working in previous games in the Zoe. Things are never stable. Things never stay in one spot too long, whether it's force nerfed by a Riot balance patch or by teams wheeling out the counter picks. Speaking of wheeling out, Songwon hasn't skilled yet, considering taking the pillar.
Yep. And should be able to put it up right now. Oh, the flash immediately out, and then he takes the pillar.
That wasn't the pillar positioning he was looking for.
No. It's hard to skill it and then immediately use it, you know, depending on what your bindings are.
Alternatively, he could have skilled it a little bit earlier.
He could have. Well, they get the flash. That is certainly good news. He has gone for the Klepto on the side of Soan, but does have resolve secondary.
And Umti sees a top lane gank and says, I'll take these Raptors. I believe the Duskbringer was actually used and spotted over the wall by the Orianna. Didn't see a ping onto it, but it looked like he was quite deep into the pit when he used it, and that does mean the Duskbringer graphical effect will show in the mid lane.
Thankfully, that's his teammate, so he should be okay with it. Umti is going to walk over a ward, though, as he moves towards the first Rift Scuttle that the Nocturne is going to take.
Still want to show as least information as possible.
Yeah.
Someone eagle-eyed spots people out. Things like this could happen.
Okay, doesn't actually go for the taunt over the wall. And Umti was thinking about trying to go for the vertical jungle as his blue buff has already been stolen by the Trundle. Nova turns up, and it should be that the blue buff will be taken, as it was actually leashed by Lava, but they saw the fact that the little icon didn't leave, and didn't believe that Lava was going to be able to solo that blue.
So red is top gank into blue take was what we saw from the side on Hanwha Life Esports. That does mean that Camille can overextend the trades. Did end up being Klepto, by the way, to answer the question you were posing of whether it was Resolve Tree and Struggle, or the Kleptomancy and try to get the farm on. Mid lane, we're seeing 2v2. Could actually be 3v2.
Yeah, Grace does have Command Protect, but Umti, he's waiting in the wings. The flash immediately comes out, gets out of the way of the Trouble Bubble, but the trouble is certainly for the Orianna. First blood for Songwon, as Umti just wants to be able to get the follow-up kill. In goes Nova, but a little bit late on that one, and Key's there as well, and Umti can't capitalize.
Flashes her up, doesn't get any of them, and of course herded off by all the supports coming through.
Goes over the wall, Lava. It's going to be okay.
I think Lava was waiting for a ward cooldown there and just ended up revealing himself. Won't be able to get back to base particularly fast here, and probably need someone's help just to not actually get a terrible back timing.
Yeah, there's another pillar to come down. Umti might be in trouble here as Lava does have another paddle star, and Songwon gets another kill. That was just straight up dumb.
Umti had his flash up, thought the Command Protect would do it, doesn't. Now bot lane was seeing engaged as well.
Yep, stun going to come in. Sanguine Pool's there to keep Teddy relatively safe, and Body Slam onto Key means that the Shen's out of the way, but Sungin free hitting onto the Gragas. Oh, very happy.
Man, that's so much the side of Hanwha Life in terms of just confidence and also the kills and control. They picked up in multiple lanes. Umti got too frisky trying to control the wave and get his Orianna great back timing there when coming back from base after the first death, and ended up losing his life as well, and now control is lost in mid. In bot lane, we're seeing the trades go well, and now a late invade from Sungyoon as well. Seems like the restless giants of Hanwha Life Esports have been awoken.
They have. 600 gold is going to be the lead at 5 minutes into the game, and thankfully for Jin fans, Sowon is able to get some farm. And Songwon looking for even more as Grace was trying to clear out a control ward. He still doesn't have flash. He is well and truly dead. Trouble Bubble comes in. Lava takes him down. What the hell was he doing there?
He's trying to clear a ward, Atlas, but did not read. The Trundle was still on the map. He's taken down, and I sense the frustration in your voice, Jinair, of giving up a cavalcade in the bot side, and a nice little body slam's not going to change anything in the bot lane.
Hell no. That's 0-2-0 Orianna. We're going to see the differences between these Oriannas, game number 1 to game number 2, because these are the ones that do absolutely nothing. It's a shockwave that just moves you around a little bit, and otherwise not too much comes from it. One thing we do have to say is that Jin Air have a composition that will scale very well. We'll hit some item timings at the same time, but you have to actually get there. And it's looking right now like Hanwha Esports, Hanwha Life are set up to take this game very early on.
Unfortunately, this is the second game in recent memory where Grace has been snowballed on. Think of his Yasuo game where unable to scale up to any reasonable moment. Linderong needs to use his hookshot very aggressively here for the Nocturne to be able to try anything. Might have been spotted also on his roam up, so back to the base goes the Nocturne, still no closer to the Warrior enchant that he wants to pick up, and another Trundle that's been taken in the red side in the first round and found big results.
Yeah, it's working out extraordinarily well, and Umti, it's another Nocturne that is getting punished. His aggression in the early stage of the game, really not what you're looking for. 2-0-1 now for Songwon, 100% kill contribution, as well as Lava, who's been the 1-2 punch.
When we were outlining the draft, I know there was a lot of good things to say about Jinair returning to a comp that excels in team fights, but like we mentioned, this Trundle had very strong lanes to gank around, was able to find an advantage top, and now it's back top.
Well, there's the Hextech Ultimatum. Cannon Barrage not in a good enough position, and Songwon just beats him down.
There'll be one in the laning phases I was trying to get to, Atlas. Top side was a kind gank. Mid side got 2 kills eventually due to the bravado of Umti overstaying in the mid lane. Goes back to the top side. Everywhere Songwon goes, Cha-ching, another big advantage comes to the side of Hanwha Life, and we're already at 1,700 gold lead without there being anything more than 2v2 skirmish.
Yep, there's no teleport either from Soan, who's going to have the long walk back to this lane, and the cannon minion was not on very much health, meaning that he will lose most of this minion wave. That is a huge amount of EXP denied, and Linderung is going to continue snowballing pretty out of control on this gangplank. Thankfully, some control is there on the bottom side of the map. Definitely the CS advantage. Shen and Xayah not exactly laning extraordinaires.
So one thing to mention is going for Xayah against Vladimir, most people won't want to do because of situations like this where you can't rush play the Ruin King. As Nova walked up, and I was worried about a taunt there from Key. Can't go play the Ruin King, so Vamp Scepter doesn't really fit into the build. Your itemization, you're not a Sheen champion like the Ezreal to take winning trades against Vlad. So rushing Hexdrinker doesn't really build into much, but when your other lanes are going well, maybe it's fine.
Yep, a little bit more options as Emo Plague's being held onto. Teddy wants to use it, you can see it. He's ready. Has to wait for his cooldowns as well to sync up with it as Sungyun and Key holding on to ultimates, holding on to their buttons, but Jin-Air, a lot of control down here, and man, for all these Jin-Air fans sitting at home, they're just looking at Teddy saying, please, please carry us.
Again, he has a long leash, he's winning trades, a Hexdrinker itemization, also condemns Sungyun into a pretty low damage game until later. As,
He's tried to spell shield a Scryer's Bloom?
He did.
Cool. You can't do that. Today I learned.
But
I was pretty sure that that's how it worked, but once again.
Does feel like Grace and Soan are a long way away from their items, and that's 2-to-1 when it comes to scaling problems. Songwon is a monster.
Yep, and that's a really, really dead Orianna. And now Songwon's going to have to get the hell out of dodge. Grace is just playing so far forward, and now he's 0-3-0. There's not a lot he can do as Key takes a lot of electrocute damage. Teddy mixing up the keystones yet again. Songwon's on the dragon, and it looks like Jin-Air know that they can't do anything.
Yep, this is a struggle streak already for Hanwha Life. 5 kills, only to the tune of 1,700 gold, but it's the items that some of these people are going to be putting together. I'd love to see Songwon go the Tarzan build of a comically early Gargoyle Stone Plate and then just walk around a team fight as Trundle and never die ever.
Yeah. Certainly would have that option as Teddy flashed forward. Hemo Plague is going to go down as, oh, okay. The stopwatch going to be there to save the Shen, but is it going to be enough? Stand United comes in. Welcome to safety, Sungyun. And that's going to get Key out of there as well.
One of those games, Atlas, where nothing comes together. The ult from the Shen keeps alive both members of Hanwha Life. They back away. No doubt Jin-Air are going to be triggered to the max. And Songwon says, I'll have a free Rift Herald.
Yep, that was after he had a free dragon. In fact, Songwon's had the freest game ever. In game number 1, Songwon was free, and now he's getting everything for free.
The man knows value, what can I say?
Yeah, on both sides. Merchant extraordinaire. As Grace, not going to get trouble bubbled, but it's looking real dangerous for the Jin-Air mid laner. In fact, it's looking real dangerous for the entirety of Jin-Air because it's looking like Hanwha Life are on perfect game pace.
It's definitely time to keep the pace up as fast as possible. No lane for Grace to farm in. It's a short lane. Mid lane turret will be the dream. Someone also wants to scale. Whichever one they decide to take down first will be fine, because I'm sure that the allies will soon follow for a second turret. Not going to be a lot of resistance coming through from the Orianna.
Yeah. She does have some farm, staying ahead of Lava so far in this matchup. But that's the only good thing that we can really talk about when it comes to the Orianna this game. Still hasn't found her first item. Same thing can be said for Lava, but there's only brown bags sitting on the side of Grace. In fact, free ass boots. There we go. Went down to the local thrift shop, picked up some shoes.
Speaking of going down, goodbye mid lane turret. It's been nice knowing you.
Yep, Shelly's going to be able to turn up and make short work of it.
Should get a second charge if they want it. Trundle sticking around. Trundle is monstrously far ahead at this point.
Absolutely gigantic. This indeed does steal away the Raptor. So that's the only good news that we've got there. But Shelly, like you say, she's going to set up for a charge. She'll get one. It'll be easy. And the inner turret down to half health.
That's why I think some of these early Oriannas are bold to a fault. I think the Orianna play was really the reason it went down. It was the decision-making rather than the champion that caused the snowball to be so accelerated on the side of Hanwha Life. But Hanwha Life need to strike at the right time, and a lot of teams have failed to do that against Orianna through the course of the past 2 or 3 match days. We are seeing Hanwha Life do it, And that's what should be praised here. Yes, there have been some pretty significant mistakes from the Jin Air side, but striking when the iron's hot is hard to do in a meta that seems to favor scaling and slow play into the late game and 3-4 item Orianna. And so far, the early game execution has been very strong from Hanwha.
Yeah, and we'll see whether Jin Air can actually hold on to this. Because yes, they've made some blunders, but I'm looking at the composition, seeing a lot of ways to sort of band-aid a bad early game. Cannon Barrage to stop sieges, certain options here, scaling, outscaling options coming in from the Gangplank as well as the Vladimir. And the Trundle, yes, will get very, very strong, very, very tanky, but it's not like you're going to have a hard carry Trundle in your game. So
you would definitely prefer a 4-0 and 1 Zoe than a 4-0 and 1 Trundle when you have the option. All you can really do is get close to 40% CDR and not die with some tech items. That's basically all Trundle is useful for as a champion. But he's very good at using those items. So if he turns on very early with insane tankiness and also CDR, he at least has a role in team fights very, very early.
Yeah, and also denies a lot of the ability for Jin Air to be able to have control of their jungle. You can see deep vision for Hanwha basically everywhere on the enemy side of the map, and everything's real dark. You can see our Observer is isolating that for us right now. Teddy will be very safe here in this lane. However, Umti, they're going to know where he is at all times.
And if you're against this Nocturne comp, you know basically which lanes there's even a chance he ganks, because if he's not showing on any vision, there's actually only so many ways he could have approached. They now know that he's coming topside. If he'd gone for a topside lane gank, that's one of the few lanes he'll be unaccountable for. So much information about the Nocturne, they didn't even need an Ashe or any other utility. They're just doing it the old hard way. And so far, it means that sadly for Umti, very difficult to find any inroads onto Hanwha Life.
Yeah. Does have his Warrior enchant. That one's done, as well as a cheeky little long sword. But otherwise, not so much as Grace can't steal away the big Raptor. Someone that's able to grab that for himself is Nova. He's looking to go back home, and the vision continues to reign supreme for Hanwha on the bottom side. Nova's putting himself in the brush here as ward goes over. Control ward's there as well. Key takes that one down, and Songwon has to be so respected that Sangyun just gets to walk up and take down whatever he wants.
So they're spotted exactly as they path over that ward. Both Orianna and Nocturne were spotted on the red ward, so we're able to pull away very early. Now, of course, they know they're not there, so they once again double down.
Yep. Looks like Sangyun will be able to get it on this wave as Songwon's getting a lot of damage over the top. There's the explosive cask, but that's just going to knock them away, and Jin Air have to give up this outer turret on bottom side. Thankfully, this time, they don't give up any kills, but that's purely due to the fact that Hanwha have been starving them so much here down the bottom of the map.
Right on the money, Atlas. 3,900 odd gold lead. Haven't really seen the Cannon Barrage used at all. Wasn't using that bot lane dive earlier. Probably wouldn't have changed too much because the stasis and also the shield coming through, but waiting for So-Won to turn on could be a while, and Linderong definitely doesn't care too much about the enemy jungler. Lava not going to be able to find a turret dive, but good news stories abound for Hanwha Life.
Yep, they're going to be able to take down this Ocean Drake as well. Double Ocean is not exactly what you want if you're the team that does have the advantage. However, they'll take whatever they can get. And Hanwha Life just going to set themselves up for this last remaining outer turret, which is on the top side. So-Won probably knows that he's got a relatively large target on his back. Total damage, certainly in favor of Hanwha Life, but at least So-Won is able to get some poke down onto Linderong. A lot of it going into a shield, you have to remember.
And the gameplay from Hanwha Life here has been all about pushing and pressuring. It's the thing where minions have been taken onto the Jin Air side. You know, you look at the lanes and equal in mid, 10 CS ahead of mid, in fact. Equal in the bot lane. The GP has been pushed in on, but hasn't actually been killed outside that early gank and is only down. So CS overall is pretty even, but the map control is what's being starved. The actual minions they can easily get access to when the game turns, when the control wards come down, is going to be less and less. So while now the full feeling isn't felt, it's really only the 5 kills and the 2 turrets that Hanwha Life have been picked up. I feel like this is the sort of game to go from a 4,000 gold lead to a 11,000 gold lead in kind of the click of a couple of buttons. So it feels like we're very close. We're on the precipice of this game just being over for Jin Air.
Well, Songwon's going to continue it, as at least a transfusion is available. Ooh, Trouble Bubble does land onto the Vladimir, who goes into a pool, but Lava not even going to follow up. Does mean that 20% of his health bar is taken down for basically free as tower falls. With a bit of a stern talking to that Sangyun gave it on the top side of the map. That was very well and truly set to fall anyway. Linderung and So1 still going 1-for-1 down on the bottom side as the Gangplank now able to get a bit of a push on. But Teddy, he has to be real careful. Yes, falls back off cooldown, but he still has to worry about what the Hanwha Life Esports bottom lane is going to do to this Vladimir, even with the friends that he has available to him.
You're gonna have to be pretty patient here. It's still level 10 on Umti, so his ult range isn't what we're used to at 18 minutes into the game. Can't really go for a play. Hanwha Life continue to push up and clear the visions. Exactly the play you want to make. Let's see how assertive they are around Baron, because remember, Jin Air had a huge lead in game number 1, but took a very long time that you convert it into a Baron. My first instinct is that Hanwha Life will definitely be more assertive around that objective. Strong turn, they have the Zoe to get a pick when people come and close the distance.
And also, what can Trundle do? Trundle can tank Baron extraordinarily well, even if having the gold lead on the Trundle is not necessarily what you want. If you want to take Baron, it certainly does work out, especially considering that they want to be turning if anyone does turn up. Nova pokes his head forward, but Body Slam is going to get the Gragas to safety. Okay, that was one hell of a spell shield to come in from Umti there at the last second. Jin Air will be able to at least clear out these minions, so the siege is being staved off. It's nicely done so far from Jin Air. Hanwha Life just waiting for their next point of attack.
The big problem for Hanwha Life is they've peaked too early. They've actually got too much of a lead too fast, and there's no ability to take a Baron because it hasn't spawned yet.
That is the most first world problem
exactly.
I've ever heard of.
Absolutely. Their diamond shoes are so tight, Atlas, as unfortunately they have to siege onto inner turrets, which is very difficult to do. The terrain favors the defender because no objectives on the map to take.
Yeah, such a problem. There's Lava. It's going to keep portal jumping over this wall, finds himself a trouble bubble onto the Gragas. Now it's Linderung with inside track on this inner turret. It's not going to fall on this wave, but that is a sign of things to come. And it's going to spread Jin Air ever so much more thin across this map.
Ability to back away from these inner turret sieges into Baron threat is what makes it strong, to push around these areas, but when the Baron wasn't there, that threat isn't there, so it just ends up being a little bit of chip damage and mostly farm onto the team that's behind. Again, 10 CS behind for the Vladimir, 14 CS ahead, and overall the CS is basically exactly even between the carry lanes of both teams. Few camps for the junglers, not going to be as big a thing to talk about.
And I feel like that 4,000, 5,000 gold lead that we're looking at right now is largely on the Trundle. Songwon is just so far ahead of Umti. Can't quite see it in the camps just yet, but as you can see, it's about 2,000 gold, the lead for Songwon. On the top side of the map, in fact, Linderung, of course, is behind. 400 gold, Gangplank. Can, of course, utilize Kleptomancy to be pretty damn strong.
The 1,400 gold lead is certainly relevant in the mid lane where the Zoe can poke and the poke is online. And the Orianna is still servers offline for now. Don't try to connect to this one for a little while.
And also the Void Staff looks to be the second item purchase for Grace as well, as Nova blast cones his way to relative safety. Jin Air still just patrolling around, trying to get the ability to look at this Baron pit.
Level 11 comes onto the Nocturne. The Vladimir going for max AP build by going Death Cap second rather than the Proto Belt. This is very risky by Teddy. He doesn't have the Predator this game, so he doesn't necessarily have the ability to guarantee he's in the thick of it. And here we go. We just want to kill one person.
We're looking to lock it down. Really good interrupt on the dash, and Teddy picks up the first kill for Jin Air of the game. The Shen being dead means that they've got 30 seconds where he can't get out, so chunking the Shen would be 30 seconds that Jin Air can utilize.
Two ultimates down. They actually get the Trouble Bubble onto the Nocturne, but can't turn it into a kill. Gragas used the flash to guarantee that one. Hindsight, maybe not worth it.
Umti, he is going to be able to use the shield. Saves his life there. I feel like that one from Lava would have definitely killed him as Teddy. You're flirting with death, my friend, as the third Ocean Drake going to spawn. And immediately Linderung and Sangyun going to take it down.
Poke team with 3 Ocean Drakes at 22 minutes. Gonna mean sieging is just the worst thing ever to deal with for the side of Jin Air, and the Zoe Siege was always going to be very powerful. Thank you, OGN, here for stats. 12% of missing HP. I think, to me, the mana is going to be the important one.
Yeah.
When it comes to some of these sieges, Orianna only going to be useful if they actually fully engage. Decent wave clear, but otherwise could be chunked out by one big paddle star. Lava walks up.
He doesn't find the stun onto Nova, who tries to get himself over the edge, but Sungyun got too much follow-up damage. And the supports, in the end, theoretically, I guess, are traded.
Waiting to see when Hanwha Life feels strong enough, turn onto the Baron. Already mentioned that Sungyun was in a low damage build, and Stormrazor Zeal Hexdrinker is definitely not max damage. Xayah at 23 minutes, but Hanwha Life, they're actually just teleporting in melee range to fake that they've started the Baron and looking for a pick.
Well, they're going to find the trouble bubble as Cannon Barrage actually just to scout the pit. That's not going to be useful now against Sowan, who's even going to get picked off. Sungyun taking a lot of damage here, as there is at least something, but oh, that shockwave only onto 2 members. And Jin Air will need to back away. They're Pirate dead, and Nova coming from base.
Smart from Hanwha Life to fake they had started Baron with the teleport and look for the pick. The pick was always going to be more reliable. The smite is still in range, though. They turn onto Umti. He's damn low.
Yep, and he's just going to get booped and destroyed. Linderong's going to lock that one down. Doesn't get the spell shield that he wants that time. Is now Grace abused once again, and he does not have the Zhonya's. He's got nothing. There's no items for the Ori, and she is well and truly dead. 1 and 9. Now as Jin Air looking down the barrels of a Hanwha victory as the Baron is being taken down. Teddy, the last remaining bastion for Jin Air as he runs forward, flashes into the pit. Will get the Hemoplague down onto a lot of priority targets as now the Baron's being continued. Wants to find more damage, but Sungyun deals with it, and that's a pretty delayed one, but that'll be an ace.
Definitely going to be an ace. A Baron as well. Hanwha Life get the game breaker they were waiting for, tiptoeing around for the last 10 minutes or so. So far ahead, so early in game number 2. The 9-game dream is alive, the Baron is dead, and that is almost a 10,000 gold lead to Hanwha Life.
Yep, 25 minutes into the game, triple Ocean Drake, now the Baron, now Linderong wanting to hookshot his way towards this inner turret. Baroned up minions, heading towards that one, will spell its doom as Jin Air members try to regroup, try to find themselves a way of holding off these purple empowered minions. Let's have a look at how this one all started. Umti just getting caught by a bubble and being popped.
Spell shield too late, the bubble arms, and so his life is vacated. We missed the cool play before where the teleport is used basically in melee range just to fake that they were hard engaging on the Baron. They weren't. Hanwha Life, another sleight of hand play, not quite camping a brush, but in a similar genus was that play. Teddy comes in with a nice stack of AP, but this is one of those games where Teddy plays Vladimir, and his team's just not there for him because his team is in the death chamber, tries to delay, not going to be able to do that in a 1v4 scenario, and they're tanking enough with the Trundle, as you mentioned earlier, Atlas, to tank the Baron forever, and eventually pick it up.
Yeah. Songwon tanking the Baron of Vladimir's full combo, basically everything that he wants. He's now 4-0 and 5. He's got that Gargoyle Stoneplate that you were talking about, and he's building towards his Warmogs, which will come in very, very soon. And yeah, no one's going to kill the Troll. That's just straight up how it's going to go. Nova finds a body slam onto him. They want to deliver him to the team, but he just pops his Stoneplate, and that's a very dead Gragas. That was not the target you were looking for.
I've never played Pop Goes to Gragas, but apparently the Xayah has.
Yeah, and it happened. And I think that Hanwha Life just going to push through. They'll break the base in the mid lane. They're looking for a pick on the bottom side of the map. Jin Air, but hookshot's pretty strong, I see. Getting over walls, and Hanwha Life Esports will probably take the Maxim. Sorry, we'll take the Maxim.
And now they're going for turret dive.
Yep, there's at least a stopwatch for Umti underneath this turret, as Hemoplague does actually get a bit of value, and thankfully for Jin Air fans, Sowan will get a kill onto Linderong. Sungyun now by himself. Teddy just eats the whole Hexdrinker shield with 1 Q. Sungyun will still make it out to safety. They save their bot. Oh, okay. No, they don't. Lava just pops the Vladimir.
That was a lot of damage.
He's been playing Pop Goes the anyone on Jin Air.
Well, Lava's had a lot of fun this game, popping off, and his lane opponent obviously kind of vacated the mid lane in terms of priority very early in the story. Pushes up, doesn't get it with the flash that time.
Yep, Grace is going to survive for now. But Jin, not a lot of options as Nexus turrets are now falling to the side of Hanwha Live Esports. Feels like only a matter of time before we stay on track to our 9-game day. Backs are going to come in. Last available opportunity for a Baron-empowered recall is 30 seconds on that one approximately. They want to pick up a whole bunch more items. Rapid Fire Cannon is going to arm the Storm Razor. Sangyun's going to come back with a lot more power. Stopwatch available as well. There's the Warmogs for Songwon. This guy's pretty damn big. 3 items picked up for Linderung as well.
Songwon has gone for the indirect Ohm Wrecker in the I'm just going to stand under a turret, take turret aggro, and never die.
Yeah.
Never ever die. With his current item timing, he's got the Warmog's Cinderhulk for just the most health. He's having a happy time, is Songwon.
Very embarrassing that Umti just finished his 2nd item, as Songwon's looking for his 3rd, as Soan, he's probably going to die, as Umti decides that he wants to come in as well. Nice 2-man Shockwave, but that's what happens when you're an Orianna with absolutely no damage. It had to be Teddy that came in to do the rest. And Hanwha Life Esports still going to break the base on the top side of the map, as bottom side was already taken down.
Who wins, Key or Umti? I think it might be Key.
Well, Key's going to pressure Umti away, as super minions also help. Say that's going to make it a bit of a bias matchup. Dustspring are not going to do anything to the Shen.
Well, they take the top side inhibitor. I think Jin just looking for KDA plays. 3,800 gold is the Baron buff power play.
Not a bad one at all. 10k being picked up in 3.5 minutes is certainly a huge deal, and they are now 13,000 gold ahead. Just wanting to take down the Nexus turrets and finish this game off as Lava. Man, these Jin Air players are just fish in a barrel. Sangyun just moves forward, but does take a lot of his health bar in order to take down the Nocturne. Means that Paranoia not going to be available. 30 seconds on that one as Jin Air just getting beaten to death. Songwon is so incredibly strong. Shockwave almost available again for Grace, but good flash. It's going to get Key to safety, and now Nexus turrets under fire. Cannon Barrage not going to be enough to get them out of here because they've got another minion wave coming from the top side. Oh God, Teddy! Massive damage onto the Zoe, and he was a big point of power. Shockwave comes down as well as he holds onto the pool for about forever. But it's not going to be enough. Sangyun's even going to be able to pick up the kill for himself. That's the Vladimir. Falling down, 5-0 and 3 for the Xayah. Who needs Rakan? Just get the Xayah in there as Linderung suicides just for